He's now been dragged here, kicking and screaming, to admit that one prisoner has been on the run from this Labour government for 14 months, and 91 have been accidentally released over the last 7 months. But the Justice Secretary is so clueless, he's literally lost track of how many prisoners he's lost. He says today a prisoner may have been accidentally released last Monday. Well, has he looked? He's either in his cell or he's not. What a complete and utter farce he's presiding over. As we all suspected, the crisis on his government's watch is even bigger than he dared admit. That's why he wouldn't say anything last week. Prisoners are being accidentally released nearly every other day and putting our constituents, his constituents, at risk. At this rate, he's on track for 156 prisoners to be accidentally released this year, which would be a record were it not for the doubling his government managed to achieve last year under their watch.
Robert Jenrick's speech was one of the most forceful parliamentary takedowns in recent memory, sharp, theatrical, and strategically crafted to expose the incompetence and chaos of the Labour government. Every line carried a deliberate punch. He didn't just cite shocking numbers, 91 prisoners accidentally released in 7 months, 156 projected this year. He turned them into symbols of a government completely out of control. His remark that the Justice Secretary has literally lost track of how many prisoners he's lost was a devastating line, cutting through the noise to question not only competence but credibility. Jenrick deployed a populist, almost mocking tone, particularly when he quipped, "Has he looked? He's either in his cell or he's not." The simplicity of that line made it sting, an almost comedic way to reveal a serious failure. It distilled his argument perfectly. If a government can't manage the most basic task of keeping prisoners locked up, how can it possibly manage a country? His conclusion, calling the situation a complete and utter farce, was the rhetorical knockout. It sealed the image of a government adrift, presiding over institutional failure and self-inflicted crisis. But beyond the numbers and sound bites, Jenrick's deeper message was political. Labour hasn't just lost prisoners. They've lost the confidence of the British people. In a climate of deep frustration and public distrust, his speech served as both a warning and a strategic offensive, setting the tone for what could become one of the most consequential political battles in the months ahead.
I don't think he was offended, and I think that should be the important thing here. It's not about if some third party is offended on their behalf. We could play that game all day and then no one gets to say anything ever. There's a whiff of the Prince Philip about it, isn't it? Having one of those high-level meetings and just saying the thing that really everyone thinks, oh, you shouldn't say that. But actually, as long as you've not offended the person you've said it to, then it's kind of all right. I don't think any harm was meant by it, and maybe we should be judging things on their intention rather than some third party's sense of effect.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think if Keir Starmer, Steve, could channel a little bit of that natural wit and banter, rather than constantly worrying about what he's going to say to upset someone, that honesty would resonate with the public, and we just never see it from the Prime Minister, do we?
It's quite human, isn't it? There was a survey in the newspapers today, so it's yesterday's news, I suppose, by now, that the majority of people in the UK trust AI more than Keir Starmer, which is not great, is it? But when it comes to, some mechanical, emotionless automaton, which one are you going to pick between AI and Keir Starmer? That's the problem. That little bit of humour shows that you're a human just trying to bond. In fact, that's probably why we developed it. No one really knows why humans have got this sense of humour, but the fact that we're social animals probably is the reason. You have a joke with someone, you have a bit of bants, as we say, on this side of the pond, and it kind of helps with the bonding.
Yeah, it does. Right, Laurie, I'm still interested in the fact that you were appalled by that. But you seem like a woman who likes to laugh.
Sure, it's not about that. It was also, I believe, that he was peddling, once again, Donald Trump never doubt that he's going to try to sell one of his products. And that was what it was. Oh, let me give this to you. Let me show it on camera. whatever. You can laugh at it. It was a funny moment, I guess you could say, but yeah.
Was it his own
saying
perfume?
you
I don't
guys,
know.
like
I don't know
lumping all Middle Eastern men into the fact that they have multiple wives, that was what I got offended
Well, they
at,
often do.
as a woman.
But yeah, but when he says you guys, he probably means the people that I have in my office, these powerful Middle Eastern men that I have in the Oval Office. I'm never sure if you've got 1, 2, 3 or 4 wives. He's right.
Yeah, and you'd think the feminazis would be supportive of a comment like that because they say it's so evil.
Are you a
that people-
feminazi,
No,
Laurie?
I'm not
not a
suggesting
Nazi,
Okay, good.
you are.
so-
Okay,
No,
good.
no,
I'm
no,
glad
I'm
we
just
cleared
saying,
that up.
in general, like the true feminists amongst the viewers would be really thrilled that the president was in a funny way critical of the idea of having multiple wives at the same time.
Oh, so now he was saying it as being critical.
I think he was. I think he's.
Well,
yeah, and he's also on the products. I don't know whose product it was, but
I believe it was his. He just recently launched a perfume and a cologne.
And good for him. He's
Again, as the president of the United States,
he's
who's made over $1
businessman.
billion
And-
while he's been in office and it hasn't even been a year.
And he does it in a very transparent
joke.
way, as opposed to the last administration that did it through multiple webs of LLCs.
Because he's the most transparent president of all time,
he is.
right?
No, he's very transparent. He didn't.
He's
I don't think
transparent about being ridiculous
I don't
and being
think
a
he's-
grifter.
I don't think he's
I'll give you
denying
that.
he's selling perfume, but I think there's a little scar tissue here because the last administration was getting paid by our adversaries, the Chinese, the Russians, the Ukrainians,
Zero evidence of any of
Kazakhstan,
that, but okay.
And going into a web of private LLCs, so they couldn't follow the paper trail, and they finally were busted.
Here we go.
how much did, Hunter
Joe
Biden is sort of not funny, but how much did Joe Biden make when he was in office? Do we know?
Zero.
The-
Show me otherwise.
Well, that's not.
Prove to me otherwise, Bev. How much did he make?
That's why I asked you. I will go and have a look.
How would I know? The answer is zero.
But you know how much Donald Trump has made. You know
because it's been widely reported by multiple news sources
Because
across
he's
the entire
transparent
world.
about it.
And
then.
he brags about it, right?
my gosh.
Now
Like,
Biden, we don't know how many millions, but we know it was 40,000.
No one cares about the Hatch Act. No one cares about the Constitution. No one cares about laws.
10%. Oh, sorry about the feminazi comment. I just meant, like, I thought that there would be some support.
You mean a
An
feminist
ideological,
zealot?
yeah.
We apologise if anybody was
yeah,
offended by
excuse me. But $40,000 that we know about went into the bank account. 10% for the big guy. So $400,000 goes into his brother's account, and then the next day $40,000 goes into Joe's account. So that's only $40,000.
And is he being transparent about all the money that he's pushed over to crypto?
I think
totally
he's been pretty transparent
That's not
about
Totally
that.
transparent either, because how much is
Totally
it?
transparent.
How much is it then, Greg?
I have no idea.
See?
But
That's cool, right?
Well, no, I mean, because he's transparent about everything he does. And so, look, he's a businessman, and I don't think he's embarrassed about it.
He's the president of the United States.
but
He's not a businessman. He is the president and leader of our nation.
I think we can all agree he's constantly promoting the products of the United States as well.
Perfume
He's
that he makes money off of is
global
not a
energy.
product of the United States.
Let me
Drill, baby, drill.
Let's bring in Stephen in